of Almighty God, I'm Mahsa Sankoshi, and today I want to talk about Hopfield Network. A Hopfield network or associative memory is a form of recurrent neural network or spine-glass system that can serve as a content addressable memory. The Hopfield network, named for John Hopfield, consists of a single layer of neurons where each neuron is connected to every other neuron except itself. These connections are bidirectional and symmetric, meaning the weight of the connection from neuron I to neuron J is the same as the weight from neuron J to the neuron I. Patterns are associatively recalled by fixing certain inputs and dynamically evolve the network to minimize an energy function towards a local energy minimum states that correspond to stored patterns. Patterns are associatively learned or stored by Hebbian learning algorithms. One of the key features of Hopfield network is their ability to recover complete pattern from partial or noisy input, making them robust in the face of incomplete or corrupted data. Their connection to statistical mechanics, recurrent networks, and human cognitive psychology has led to their application in various fields, including physics, psychology, neuroscience, and machine learning theory and practice. What about the history of Hopfield network? One origin of associative memory is human cognitive psychology, specifically the associative memory. Frank Rosenblatt studied closed-loop cross-coupled perceptrons, which are three-layered perceptron networks whose middle layer contains recurrent connections that change the Hebbian by a Hebbian learning rule. Another model of associative memory is where the output doesn't loop back to the input, and Taylor proposed such a model trained by Hebbian learning in 1956. Carl Steinbach, who wanted to understand learning and was inspired by watching his children learn, published the Learn Matrix in 1961. It was translated to English in 1963. Similar research was done with the parallelogram of D.J. Wilshaw and his colleagues in 1969, and Cohen trained an associative memory by gradient descent in 1974. Another origin of associative memory was statistical mechanics. The Ising model was published in 1920 as a model of magnetism. However, it studied the thermal equilibrium, which doesn't change with time. And Glauber in 1963 studied the Ising model evolving in time as a process towards thermal equilibrium, Glauber dynamics, adding in the components of time. The second component to be added was adaptation to a stimulus. This component has been added independently by different sources, including Rosenblatt in 1960 and Nakano in 1971 and Omari in 1972. They proposed to modify the weight of an Ising model by Hebbian learning rule as a model of associative memory. The same idea was published by William Little in 1974, who was acknowledged by Hopfield in his 1982 paper. Uh, Carpenter in 1989 and Cowan in 1990 for a technical description of some of these early works in associative memory. The Shrink-Ton-Kirkpatrick model of spine-glass, published in 1975, is the Hopfield network with random initialization. Shrink-Ton and Kirkpatrick found that it is highly likely for the energy function of the SK model to have many local minima. In the 1982 paper, Hopfield applied this recently developed theory to study the Hopfield network with binary activation functions. In 1984 paper, he extended these to continuous activation functions. It became a standard model for the study of neural networks through statistical mechanics. A major advance in memory storage capacity was developed by Dmitry Kurtov and Hopfield in 2016 through a change in network dynamics and energy function. This idea was further extended by Demir Shilikil and collaborators in 2017. The continuous dynamics of large memory capacity model was developed in a series of papers between 2016 and 2020. Large memory storage capacity Hopfield network are now called dense associative memories or modern Hopfield networks. In 2024, John Hopfield and Geoffrey Hinton were awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics for their foundational contribution to machine learning, such as the Hopfield network. And what about the structure of Hopfield? The units in Hopfield nets are binary terrestrial units. For example, the units only take on two different values for their states, and the value is determined by whether or not the unit's input exceeds its threshold UI. Discrete Hopfield nets describe relationships between binary firing or not firing neurons from 1 to I, 1, 2, 3, 4 until I, and J until N. At a certain time, the state of the neural net is described by a vector V which records which neurons are firing in a binary word of n bits. The interaction of Wij between neurons have units that usually take on values of 1 or negative 1. In this convention, will be used throughout this article. However, other literature might use units that take values of 0 and 1. These interactions are learned via Hebbian laws of association, such that for a certain state, Vs and distinct nodes I and J, which Wij is equal to Vis and Vjs, but Wij is equal to 0. Note that the Hebbian learning rule takes the form Wij is equal to 2 Vis minus 1 and 2 Vjs minus 1 when the units assume value in 0 and 1. Once the network is trained, Wij no longer evolve if a new state of neuron W prime is introduced to neural network. The net acts on neurons such that Wi prime is equal somehow 1 if sigma ij Wij Vj prime is greater than Ui, where Ui is the threshold value of the I prime neuron, often taken to be zero. In this way, Hopfield networks have the ability to remember states stored in the interaction matrix, because if a new state V prime is subjected to the interaction matrix, each neuron will change until it matches the original state Vs. The connection in Hopfield net typically have the following restriction. For example, Wij is equal to 0. For each I, no unit has a connection with itself. And Wij is equal to Wji. For each I, J connection are symmetric. The constraint that weights are symmetric guarantees that the energy function decreases monotonically while following the activation rules. A network with asymmetric weight may exhibit some periodic or chaotic behavior. However, Hopfield found that this behavior is confined to relatively small parts of the phase space and doesn't impair the network's ability to act as a content addressable associative memory system. Hopfield also modeled neural nets for continuous values in which the electric output of each neuron is not binary but some value between 0 and 1. He found that this type of network was also able to store and reproduce memorized states. Notice that every pair of units I and j in a Hopfield network has a connection that is described by the connectivity weight Wij. In this sense, the Hopfield network can be formally described as a complete undirected graph. G is equal to Vf, where V is a set of McCulloch Pitts neurons, and F is equal to somehow V to R is a function that links pairs of units to a real value, the connectively weight. The convergence properties of discrete and continuous Hopfield network. Bragg in his paper in 1990 studied discrete Hopfield network and proved a generalized convergence theorem that is based on the connection between the network's dynamics and cuts in associated graph. The generalization covered both asynchronous as well as synchronous dynamics and presented elementary proofs based on greedy algorithm for max cut in graphs. A subsequent paper further investigated the behavior of any neuron in both discrete time and continuous time Hopfield network when the corresponding energy function is minimized during an optimization process. And Brooks showed that neuron J changes its state if and only if it further decreases the following biased pseudocut. The discrete Hopfield network minimizes the following biased pseudocut for the synaptic weight matrix of the Hopfield net. And what about the energy? Energy landscape of Hopfield network lightening the current state of the network up the hill and attractor state to which it will eventually converge. A minimum energy level at a basin of attraction shaded in green. Note how the update of the Hopfield network is always going down in energy. Hopfield nets have a scalar value associated with each state of network referred to as the energy E of the network, where E is equal to minus 1 divided by 2 sigma ij wij sij minus sigma theta I si. This quantity is called energy because it either decreases or stays the same upper network units being updated. Furthermore, under repeated updating, the network will eventually converge to a state which is a local minimum in the energy function, which is considered to be a Lyapunov function. Thus, if a state is a local minimum in the energy function, it is a stable state for the network. Note that this energy function belongs to a general class of models in physics under the name of Ising model. These in turn are a special case of Markov networks since the associated probability measure, the Gibbs measure, has the Markov property. And Hopfield network in optimization. Hopfield and Chang presented the Hopfield network application in solving the classical traveling salesman problem in 1985. Since then, the Hopfield network has been widely used for optimization. The ideal of using Hopfield network in optimization problems is straightforward. If a constraint, unconstrained cost function can be written in the form of a Hopfield energy function E, then there exists a Hopfield network whose equilibrium points represent solutions to the constraint unconstrained optimization problem. Minimizing the Hopfield energy function both minimizes the objective function and satisfies the constraints also as the constraints are embedded into the synaptic weight of the network, also including the optimization constraints into the synaptic weights in the best possible way is a challenging task. Many difficult optimization problems with constraints in different disciplines have been converted to the Hopfield energy function. Associative memory systems, analog to digital conversion, job shop scheduling problem, quadratic assignment, and other related NP-complete problems channel allocation problem in wireless network, mobile ad hoc network routing problem, image restoration, system identification, and combinatorial optimization, and etc. Just to name a few. However, while it is possible to convert hard optimization problem to Hopfield energy function, it doesn't guarantee convergence to a solution, even in a exponential time. Initialization and running. Initialization of Hopfield network is done by setting the values of the units to the desired start pattern. Repeated updates are then performed until the network converges to an attractor pattern. Convergence is generally assured as Hopfield proved that the attractors of this nonlinear dynamic system are stable, not periodic or chaotic as in some other systems. Therefore, in the context of Hopfield networks, an attractive pattern is a final stable state, a pattern that cannot change any value within it under updating. And what about the Hopfield training? Training a Hopfield net involves lowering the energy of states that the net should remember. This allows the net to serve as a content addressable memory system, that is to say, the network will converge to a remembered state if it is given only part of the state. The net can be used to recover from a distorted input to the trained state that is most similar to that input. This is called associative memory because it recovers memories on the basis of similarity. For example, if we train a Hopfield net with 5 units so that the state is 1 minus 1, 1 minus 1, 1 is an energy minimum, and we give the network the state 1 minus 1 minus 1 minus 1, 1, it will converge to 1 minus 1, 1 minus 1, and 1. Thus, the network is properly trained when the energy of states which the network should remember are local minimum. Note that in contrast to perceptron training, the threshold of the neuron are never updated. And about Hopfield learning rules. There are various different learning rules that can be used to store the information in memory of the Hopfield network. It is desirable for a learning rule to have both of the following two properties. The first is local. A learning rule is local if each page is updated using information available to neurons on either side of the connection that is associated with the particular weight. The next one is incremental. New patterns can be learned without using information from the old patterns that have been also used for training. That is, when a new pattern is used for training, the new values for the weights only depends on the old values and on the new patterns. These properties are desirable since a learning rule satisfying them is more biologically plausible. For example, since the human brain is always learning new concepts, one can reason that human learning is incremental. A learning system that was not incremental would generally be trained only once, with a huge batch of training data. And what about the Hebbian learning rule for Hopfield network? Hebbian theory was introduced by Donald Hebb in 1949 in order to explain associative learning in which simultaneous activation for neural cells leads to pronounced increases in synaptic strength between those cells. It is often summarized as neurons that fires together wire together, neurons that fires out of sync fail to link. The Hebbian rule is both local and incremental. For the Hopfield network, it is implemented in the following manner when learning n binary patterns, which is the equation of Wij is equal to 1 divided by n, sigma micro is equal to n, and the upper boundary is n, and the epsilon I micro, epsilon I j micro, where epsilon I micro represents bit I from pattern micro. If the bits corresponding to neurons I and J are equal in pattern micro, then the product epsilon I micro, epsilon J micro will be positive. This would in turn have a positive effect on the weight Wij, and the values of I and J will tend to become equal. The opposite happens if the bits corresponding to neurons I and J are different. And about Storky learning rule. This rule was introduced by Amos Storky in 1997 and is both local and incremental. Storky also showed that a Hopfield network trained using this rule has a greater capacity than a corresponding network trained using the Hebbian rule. The weight matrix of an attractive neural network is said to follow the Storky learning rule if it obeys the Wij v is equal to Wij v minus 1 plus 1 divided by n epsilon iv epsilon jv minus 1 divided by n epsilon iv and high jiv minus 1 divided by n epsilon jv and hij. This learning rule is local since the synapses take into account only neuron at their sites. The rule makes use of more information from the patterns and weight than generalized Hebbian rules due to the effect of this local field. And what about the spurious pattern? Pattern that a network uses for training called retrieve states become attractors of the system. Repeated updates would eventually lead to convergence to one of the retrieval states. However, sometimes the network will converge to a spurious pattern different from the training pattern. In fact, the number of the spurious pattern can be exponential in the number of stored patterns. Even if the stored patterns are orthogonal, the energy in this spurious pattern is also a local minimum. For each stored pattern x, the negation minus x is also a spurious pattern. A spurious state can also be a linear combination of an odd number of retrieval states. For example, when using three patterns, micro 1, micro 2, micro 3, one can get the following spurious state. For example, epsilon I mix is equal to positive negative sign of positive negative epsilon I micro 1 until epsilon I micro 3. Spurious patterns that have an even number of states cannot exist since they might sum up to the zero. And what about the capacity, Hopfield capacity? The network capacity of the Hopfield network model is determined by neuron amount and connections within a given network. Therefore, the number of memories that are able to be stored is dependent on neurons and connections. Further, it was shown that the recall accuracy between vectors and nodes was 0.138. Approximately 138 vectors can be recalled from storage for every 1000 nodes, and Hertz and his colleagues in 1991. Therefore, it is evident that many mistakes will happen if one tries to store a large number of vectors. When the Hopfield model doesn't recall the right pattern, it is possible that an intrusion has taken place, since semantically related items tend to confuse the individual and recollection of the wrong pattern occurs. Therefore, the Hopfield network model is shown to confuse one stored item with that of another upon retrieval. Perfect recalls and high capacity bigger than 0.14 can be loaded in the network by a stroke learning method. Ulterior models inspired by the Hopfield network were later devised to raise the storage limit and reduce the retrieval error rate, with some being capable of one-shot learning. And what about the human memory? The Hopfield network is a model for human associative learning and recall. It accounts for associative memory through the incorporation of memory vectors. Memory vectors can be slightly used, and this would spark the retrieval of the most similar vector in the network. However, we will find out that due to this process, intrusions can happen. In associative memory for the Hopfield network, there are two types of operation: auto-association and hetero-association. The first being when a vector is associated with itself, and the latter being when two different vectors are associated in a storage. Furthermore, both types of operations are possible to store within a single memory matrix, but only if that given representation matrix is not one or the other of the operations, but rather the combination auto-associative and hetero-associative of the two. Hoffield's network model utilized the same learning rules as Hebbian's in 1949 learning rules, which characterized learning as being a result of the stranging of the weight in cases of neuronal activity. Risotto and Kahana were able to show that the neural network model can account for repetition and recall accuracy by incorporating a probabilistic learning algorithm. During the retrieval process, no learning happens. As a result, the weight of the network remains fixed, showing that the model is able to switch from a learning stage to a recall stage. By adding contextual drift, they were able to show the rapid forgetting that occurs in a hopeful model during a queued recall task. The entire network contributes to the change in the activation of any single node. McCulloch and Pitts in 1943 dynamical rule, which described the behavior of neurons, does so in a way that shows how the activation of multiple neurons maps onto the activation of a new neuron's firing rate, and how the weight of the neurons strange the synapse connections between the new activated neuron and those that activated it. Hopfield would use McCulloch, Pitts, and dynamical rule in order to show how retrieval is possible in the Hopfield network. However, Hopfield would do so in a repetitious fashion. Hopfield would use a nonlinear activation function instead of using a linear function. This would therefore create the Hopfield dynamical rule, and with this, Hopfield was able to show that with the nonlinear activation function, the dynamical rule will always modify the values of the state vector in the direction of one of the stored patterns. Thank you so much for watching my video until the end, and also you can see in Colab Research that I have described this pattern for learning. It's the different letter DJ and M, and there is a function for training the network. As you can see, there is a two nested for loops here for the pattern white, that for I and J, both of them are training in the matrix of learning, and created the next block is created the corrupted pattern of S letter, and you can see that how much it can be detect the correct character. And also you can download this code from my github.com/masterscript, and the code name is Python Hopeful.